All right, so it's Lisa here, and I'm having a chat to Ngarino from 1972 in Sydney. And yeah, he's one of my favourites. I know you're not allowed to have favourites, but we don't come across lots of roosters. We come across a lot more hens. And I really love, yeah, the passion and energy that comes from a male mindset. And I've always loved working with male hairdressers because it's their livelihood. And sometimes for the women, they have a partner or a husband who can support them. But for most part, the men, it's everything. They really have to get this right because their family depends on it. And that makes it easier for me because I'm deadly serious about it. I don't care if you've got two husbands. It doesn't matter to me. I want you to take it as seriously as I do. So one of the things that I love about Ngarino is he takes it very seriously. So if we wind back to the start, when I first met you was at a presentation in Sydney, and I was presenting on retail. And you come up to me after and you said, right, we need to talk. And I thought, okay, he's made up his mind. So something clicked that night with you. And I think that you find the people in your life you're looking for. And so what happened then? Why did you think, okay, this is the company I need? Or you tell them your version, not mine.
Yeah. Well, first of all, I saw the curly red hair and pretty much you had me at hello. So, but in saying that, I was looking, I was on the hunt. I've been in this industry for over 3 decades now. I bought my first salon when I was 19 years old. And when people or young people want to become business owners, they want to be out on their own and they don't want somebody to tell them what to do. If somebody had told them back then, this is what you're going to have to do to be a business owner, you probably would never do it, let alone be an entrepreneur. So I bought my first salon at 19 and I wanted to beat my chest and I wanted to roar really loud too. And it was a successful salon. But I didn't know anything about business. All I knew is I didn't want a boss. And if you are clever enough when you're young enough to listen enough, somebody will give you the information for free. Now, most of the times you won't hear it because you're not ready for it. You have to fall over. You have to graze your knees and your elbows and your nose and your forehead, and hopefully you come out still alive after a few years, and you want to listen to somebody, but you'll end up paying for it. So I would give that information out for free too. I'll give it to anybody who wants to listen, but as soon as you don't listen to me, it's finished. We're done, and I'll move on. Now, fast forward 3 and a bit decades, and I'm here and I'm looking for the information that I'm needing. So when I'm looking for the information I'm needing, I'm looking for somebody that can not only inspire me, but has the answers to the questions and can tell me, this is the road we go down. This will probably suit you. And I've had business coaches before, and they've told me about KPIs. And yes, they are very, very important. And your numbers are the most important data that you can have. But people have to also show you how to get those numbers and how to push through to the next level that you haven't been able to get yet. Now, if you had been there already, you wouldn't need a business coach. If you're sitting there and your appointment book's pretty empty and your retail's shit, then you need a business coach because they're going to tell you how to do it. Now, if you're ready to get that information, then you're there. All you have to do is listen and do the work behind the scenes. I always look at things like touch football or rugby that I've played all my life, and I'm good at it. But it's not what I do on the field, it's what I do off the field. That makes me a good player on the field. And it's the same with hair. It's what you do behind the scenes to make what you do in front of everybody better.
Yeah, definitely. And I think being ready, being ripe and ready is really important. And so we have a really clear strategy to weed out those that aren't. 1, because I don't want them ruining my brand, and 2, I don't want them wasting their money. So I think there's this little bit of a combination of nervous and excitement. When I say, well, how do you feel now after we do the discovery? And they go, oh, I'm excited, but, and I go, good, it's a good combination. You shouldn't go, yeah, I'll just give this coaching a crack for a bit. You should feel a little uncomfortable. Like when you first find out you're having a baby, you think, now there's no going back. It's what you wanted, but you're going to have to have to make some changes. You're going to go without sleep and things. And I think in your business too, what we do really well is highlight the bits that you can't see because you just can't see. Same with me. There's an old saying, the golfer has a coach. And I think when Tiger Woods was at his highest point, he had 5 coaches because he can't see his own swing. And if you want to play at that level, you want to to point it out and say, you know what, perhaps the way you're saying it isn't right, or perhaps you're measuring. The classic one is people measure retail in money, and I don't care about the money, I want units. So if there's 30 people, I want to know how many people left with something. Whereas if you say 30 people and I sold, $60 in retail, that could be 2 GHD or Cloud 9 irons, but that's only 2 people that got something they didn't come for. So I'm more interested in the ratio of the care of the service. And so there's little tweaks here and tweaks there that make such a difference. And we're pretty lucky we don't get much resistance. I think that's because we screen really hard, we make sure you've read the book and things like that. But when they do resist me, I go, well, hang on. So you want to keep doing the same, but you want a different result. And they go, okay, that's really interesting. So it's about, the problem with everyone in their business is them. The problem with me is me, me stepping back and letting the coaches coach. And you had Tara first, and then you've had Kai, and you've had me.
Yeah.
They're all different. I understand that. It's no different to someone giving you a haircut, but it's still the Zing way.
Yeah. The format was the same, and the teachings were, slightly altered here and there. But I enjoyed all of them because I learned something of all. Yeah. And everybody brought something new to the table, which I liked. I mean, for me, I couldn't believe I was asleep for so long about retail. I just could not believe I've been asleep for 30 odd years when I didn't have to be. And, and it wasn't, and I had this fear of, I'm not a salesperson. And now it's about, I want to give all the information possible so they can make an informed decision. And if I don't do my job properly, I'm only cutting hair, then I'm only a cutter. But I'm more than that. I'm way more than that. And otherwise, they're going to go and make a silly decision and get products they don't need.
And then they're really expensive when you get the rubbish, isn't it? When it's not what you want, and it's not necessarily a rubbish product. It's just not the right thing. It's
not the right thing for them. It's like you don't go to a doctor to ask him how to play tennis unless he's a tennis player. And nobody's coming to me to ask me to fix their car because I wouldn't have a clue how to do it. Yeah. Simple. Yeah. But I was asleep. I was asleep for 30 years. But I'm awake now.
You're right. And sometimes I look at your figures and I think, how can he do 30 clients and 30 treatments and 45 retail? I go, what is he got cocaine strapped to the side of those bottles? There's something.
I don't know if I'd sell that much if I had cocaine strapped.
You're just doing so well because you ooze passion. It's really cool, isn't it? And I think you're, I'd say blessed like me. You have this really good energy about you. And there's some people that are gentle and quiet and it takes them a little bit longer to find their way. But you're like me. If I'm interested in it, you need to be too. I'm just...
Yeah. And I have the information. That's the thing. I've got all the information. Now, you can go and find out other information if you want, but this is the nuts and bolts of how it works. And it's going to work for you. And I'll give you your money back if it doesn't. That's that simple.
And that takes away the risk, doesn't it?
Well, there's no risk for me either because not one person's come back.
No, because I don't. Because you wouldn't recommend anything that
you're
better off with.
No. If I sold them a lemon and tried to pretend it was a car, they'd bring it back. But these aren't lemons.
And so, what would be financially the change in your business? How has that made you?
You know me, Lisa. You know where I'm going. You know that I won't sit still. So for me, it's always an ongoing struggle because I'm trying to peel back the next layer and go to the next level. And I'm not going to be somebody who's going to sit there in comfort. Now, I could be comfortable right now in my business, and I could sit here and I could possibly work for the next 30 years and pay everything off and be beautiful, pay everything off in the next 10 years, and I'd be sweet. Financially, I'd have not a problem at all. But that's not where I'm heading to. I'm pushing hard to go to, where I'm about to buy my next building. I own this building. We're about to buy the next building, and then we want the next building after that and the next building after that. And what we're developing within those buildings are high-end salons that take care of not rich people, but people who want to take care of their hair. Really? People who think that their hair is more important than anything else in their life. And they're the people. That's my demographic. That's my customer. That's who I'm after. And I can see her walking down the street. I can see her as soon as she walks into my salon. I know exactly who she is straight away. And that's not being judgmental. That's just knowing who my demographic is. So for me, money-wise, is heaps better. Don't get me wrong. But as much as I am, I'm pushing. So I'm growing, and I'm always going to have growing pains. And don't be scared of growing pains because I personally don't want to work anymore. So I'm pushing hard now. So in the very near future, all I do is build salons and teach people and teach what I've got. And that's all I do.
And that's, it's interesting you say that, but it is actually work. What I'm doing now is work. But
Yeah. I mean, to rephrase that even better, I don't have to work. I want to work. I don't have to go to work. I want to go to work. That's the difference.
And that fits in nicely with freedom of time, incredible team, and substantial money.
Yeah, definitely.
And so we're getting to the stage where you don't work nearly as many hours as you used to. I remember when we first started, you were doing...
I'm on a half-time holiday.
Yeah. But you work smarter. That's the difference.
Yeah. In the key areas.
For you, it was getting you to realise that there are other people who can do exactly what you're doing, if not the same, better. And that was
and as you taught me, don't hold on to the ball. Every time I feel like I'm holding onto the ball, I want to get rid of it. I want to pass it away. Like, get this ball away from me. I don't want to be the face. I don't want to be the be all end all. I don't want my back up against the wall because I won't go to anybody else. I don't want any of that.
Yeah. And I've watched your main girl. She's just grown and blossomed beautifully. I see her now on social media, and she's just a different kid, isn't she? She's really lovely.
I love doing social media with her. I feel naked without her next to me. I feel like I can't be as funny, whereas when I'm with her, we can just bounce really easily. It's a really confident feel, and we can just banter a little bit and have a bit of a laugh, so people can have a bit of a laugh with us and see our humility of what we're trying to put across to the people. Yeah.
And it's funny because you didn't do any before we came along, and now you're like you're like me, you're a social media tart.
Yeah, and it's funny, and you would know this too as you look back and you have a look at your old social media. You just go, "Oh, you need to smile."
And you're just so much better now with the lighting. But just have a go. Just I don't know. Yeah. I don't think anyone's out there wanting to shoot you down. And I think, well, I look at my old stuff, and I didn't smile much, and I was very serious, and I sort of stood in a way and didn't move, and now I just be me. And it's much easier to be me than to try and be something that I'm not.
Yeah. I think the more vulnerable you are, the more that you show of yourself, the more you can come across as what people want to hear and see.
Yeah. And what I think you do really well is you educate your audience just on, like I watched one the other day, it was lovely, just on how to choose a hairdryer and what's the good between this one and one. And you can honestly say, this is only my opinion, but that's what I don't like about a hairdryer. That's what I like too. It's really
I'll show people how to use a bloody hairband. What hairband to use, and because there's plenty of information in a hairband. Anything you can get your hands on, you can have information on.
Yeah, really cool. Well, thank you for your time today. It's really lovely to talk to you.
Pleasure.
And what would you say to anyone who's thinking about getting a coach? I think I know the answer, but what would you say?
You don't think, just do.
Just do.
It's that simple.
Yeah. It's not that hard, is it? I think
it's not hard.
You got to be uncomfortable. You got to get yourself out of your comfort zone, because the prize at the other side is incredible.
Yeah. But don't do and then beat your chest. Do and come in with your eyes and your ears open. This one here?
Yeah. Well, I always say 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason, hey? So you can listen. Very difficult for hairdressers, very difficult.
Yeah.
You learn so much if you listen to people. It's not necessarily what they say, it's what they say in between, or their body language and things like that. But yeah, it's just fascinating. I love it. It's good.
Yep.
All right. Thank you for your time. I'll just switch the off button.
Yeah.